Your hair is like a flock of goats descending from Gilead.
In like manner also, that women should adorn themselves in modest apparel with shamefacedness and sobriety, not with braided hair or gold or pearls or costly array.
Does not the very nature of things teach you that if a man has long hair, it is a disgrace to him, but if a woman has long hair, it is her glory, for long hair has been given to you as covering.
Then Jehu went to Jezreel. When Jezebel heard about it, she put on eye makeup, arranged her hair, and looked out of a window.
It was a slow day on the floor, and my patient, whose hair was falling out from chemo, had just asked me to shave his head. Sure, I said, even though despite the 2 years plus I spent in oncology nursing, I had yet to shave anyone's head.
At CGA, please. Just spent the last hour contemplating cutting all my hair off into a shaggy pixie cut. Kinda Miley Cyrus-ish.
Shaving a patient's head was probably as good as it gets for a first time. His wife insisted on taking pictures and tried to get me to leave him with a mohawk.
At Fish Navy, I'm going for my haircut tomorrow and I just grew my hair long. And I'm sad because I'll say a trip and I'll come out bald.
When I'm dressed cool, my parents put up a fight. And if I'm hotshot, my mom cuts my hair at night. And in the morning, I'm short of my identity. I scream, Mom and Dad!
If I want to shave it close or I want to rock locks, that don't take a bit away from the soul that I got. If I want to wear it in a braid down my back, I don't see what's the matter with that.
I just want to be free. I just want to be me.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Does the way I wear my hair make me a better person?
Sometimes I get raccoons or red highlights just because I want my friends to think I'm dynamite. And I want lots of friends to invite me to their parties.
Does the way that I wear my hair make me a better friend?
Rock City, high school, Friday dance. I got bags to hide that I don't stand a chance.
Does the way I wear my hair determine my integrity?
I am the spirit of my hair. It's all the glory that I bear.
All hail Queen Circe, the first of her name, Lord of the Roiler, the Andals and the First, Lord Protector of the Seven Kingdoms, daughter of the Lion, and wife of the Crowned Stag.
I am the Queen. I am a lioness of the rock. I will claw your eyes, tear off your lips, and feed you to the carrion. I am a lion.
Mother of bastards and lovers of brothers. Here she stands to await her punishment in the company of fate.
Oh Jamie, my twin, my brother, my love. It should have been me born with a sword. I will have guards at least. They will keep the crowds away.
Samson lay there only until the middle of the night. Then he got up and took hold of the doors of the city gate, together with the 2 posts, and tore them loose, bar and all. He lifted them to his shoulders and carried them to the top of the hill that faces Hor. Sometime later, he fell in love with a woman in the valley of Sorek, whose name was Delilah.
It was as much a victory for my father and my grandfather and my grandfather's father as it was a victory for me.
When he came to me babbling about his exams, I wept.
A long time ago, an ancestor of mine served at the Emperor's court. And my own father, who had failed the civil service exams over and over again, dreamed of serving at the Emperor's court.
I couldn't listen to him. He kept going on about honor and glory and money, some imaginary silver that would pour into his drawers from heaven. Our drawers from heaven.
I remember him talking to me, drunk with hope and misery, about the cartloads of silver he would make, and with it he would rebuild his father's house from its ruins.
Only then did he see me weeping.
She was crying when I saw her, openly. And I thought she was weeping for the dowry.
The dowry. The stupid dowry.
I assured her that nothing would change despite my new position, that I was a man of my word.
I told him that the rebels were at Chengdu, that my brothers had gone to join them, and that my father took up my grandfather's sword and cut off his queue.
She wept into my breast, then pulled away, Then she grabbed my arm, looked into my eyes, and pulled away again, running to the house.
I knew then that my father would never let me marry a man who served the man Jews.
I ran before anyone saw me.
He was trembling when I held him. I told him not to be afraid, but he couldn't stop shaking.
This sinner has confessed her crimes and has begged for absolution. His High Holiness has commanded her to demonstrate her repentance by putting aside all pride and artifice and present herself as the God's maid in front of the good people of this city.
I could still refuse. I could still insist upon my innocence. I could hazard all in a trial. They wished to shame me in the way my father shamed his father's horror. I was too young to remember, but the people have always spoken of how she wept and begged, of the desperate way she clung to her garments when they commanded her to disrobe, of her futile efforts to cover her breasts and her sex with her hands as she hobbled barefoot and naked through the streets to her exile. They broke her, but she was not a Lannister. My crown, they took one crown from me, and now they have taken this one as well. They shaved me. I've been shorn, like a sheep. A little more humiliation. Racing for my porridge. I am Cersei of House Lannister, a lion of the rock, the rightful queen of these 7 kingdoms, true-born daughter of Tywin, and hair grows back.
Your head crowns you like Mount Carmel. Your hair is like royal tapestry and the king is held captive by its tresses.
Do not cut the hair at the sides of your head, or clip off the edges of your beard.
If a man loses his hair and is bald, he is clean. And if he loses his hair at his scalp and has a bald forehead, he is clean.
They must not shave their heads, or let their hair grow long, but they are to keep the hair of their heads trimmed.
It was a beautician who first noticed it. A woman who, while perhaps having still to look after growing sons and a philandering husband, exuded that vague allure associated with early middle age. She found the spots on my head. She was shampooing me in preparation for the haircut. I had avoided the barber shop, unsatisfied with the previous job, and sought this unisex parlor across the street. Alopecia, she said. And all my fantasies ceased.
Once I shaved his head and saw how he looked, the whole idea of hair seemed superfluous.
At Classic Braid, cutting your hair is like cutting your chance. Most females don't look as good as Holly Berry with her haircut, so don't do it.
I shared it in this arch comment from Liz Tilberis, the former editor of British Vogue, who died at 51 of ovarian cancer. Once he'd had chemotherapy, she had said, "There's no such thing as a bad hair day."
At Brittany Ferland, I was going to get a pixie cut, but then I realized I'm not Natalie Portman, so there's that.
Good hair means curls and waves. Bad hair means you look like a slave.
I've had enough. This is my prayer, that I'll die living just as free as my hair.
You can shave it off like a South African beauty, or you can get it in locks like Bob Marley. You can rock it straight like Oprah Winfrey.
I've had enough. I'm not a freak. I just keep trying to stay cool in the streets.
Little girl with the breasts and the
I've had enough. Enough!
I'm just trying to express my creativity. At 13, I got a relaxer. I was a source of laughter. 15, it all broke off. 18, I went all natural. February 2002, I went and did what I had to do.
Why can't I be who I want to be?
Because I had to change my life to be the woman that I am inside. 97 dreadlocks, all gone. For the first time, I looked in the mirror and I thought, hey,
I don't want to be ashamed.
I'm the queen of the 7 kingdoms.
Sinner!
I will repay this debt to all of you 1,000-fold.
Harlot!
A queen does not hide. I will show them what it means to be a lion.
Shame! Shame upon the sinner!
I am leaving. That is all that matters.
Brother fucker.
It should have been me born with a sword and Jamie with a dress.
abomination.
There will be guards at least. They will keep the crowds away.
I ran quickly before anyone saw me.
He said we could go to the capital, that since he passed his exams, he could surely get a job there. The capital. There were 1,000 li of bloodshed between us and the capital. And we had no money, no horses, no future. I held his arm and looked into his eyes, and I saw fear, love, pride, bright burning pride. And then I walked away.
I thought, or I had imagined our escape, that we would meet at the mulberry tree by midnight with some food and some clothes. Perhaps make our way to the river delta after finding a Red Cross. Maybe sell something for the Red Cross.
I sat by the window that night, the bright light of the moon moving west.
At the tavern, all they spoke of was Chengdu.
I saw an old monk pass by, holding an ashcan.
They sat outside, drink in hand, watching the moths attack the lamplight.
His head was bowed low, his robes dragging softly behind him, and his voice was tender with sorrow.
That this old drunkard passed by, singing horribly.
The wind sighs, the crickets cry. How can I sleep in the sultry silence?
I felt the breeze on my cue. Then I went back inside and drank myself dead.
In the morning, more news came from Chengdu. 4,744 people dead. A victory, they said. But my father just laughed and ran a hand through his cueless hair.
His head is pure as gold. His hair is wavy, black as a raven.
But if any woman should pray or prophesy with her head uncovered, she dishonors her own head. She might as well have her head shaved.
As she stood behind him at his feet, weeping, she began to wet his feet with her tears. Then she wiped them with her hair, kissed them, and poured perfume on them.
O impotence of mind, body, soul! But what is strength without a double share of wisdom? Vast, unwieldy, burdensome, proudly secure, yet liable to fall with the weakest subtleties. Not made to rule, but to subserve where wisdom bears command. God, when He gave you that strength, to show withal, how slight the gift was, hung it in your hair. But peace, I must not quarrel with the will.
I thought these were for an accident, she said after asking me a series of questions to confirm her suspicions. Alopecia. She had repeated her verdict. We always refer our customers to a dermatologist. I was alarmed. Do make the visit, or you go bald. She insisted. I was trying to imagine how I'd look like with points of clear scalp above my nape, back of the skull. I never noticed these, I said. That's because they're at the back. They were there 2 weeks ago. Maybe the barber noticed them and just didn't call your attention. You visited Derma. She toned once more. They're curable. They're curable. They're curable. It was like being told I had the big C. I was forlorn as I drove home. I looked alopecia up in the paperback medical encyclopedia. Male pattern baldness. No known cause. No known cure.
It's not what's on your head, it was underneath. Breast cancer and chemotherapy took away her crown and glory. She promised to God that if she were to survive, she would enjoy every day of her life.
This is my prayer, I swear.
On national television, her eyes are diamond sparkling, bald head like a full moon shining, saying out to the whole wild world, hey.
No, I just want to be myself.
I I am not my hair. I am not this skin.
The next day, though, a different patient, this time a woman, asked me to get out the electric razor.
At Little Spiral 27, I'd like to see a curvy, tattooed lesbian with a physical with Miss America, personally.
Her hair was already fairly short, come to an almost shoulder-length ball. When the doctors had come in for morning rounds, she had stood up and then, looking embarrassed, brushed off the layer of hair that had fallen out and covered her shoulders and back. She had been losing so much hair, she said, she felt like she was shedding.
At Miss Gold USA, I won't likely ever do a pixie cut unless all my hair falls out from dyeing it so much. In which case, call me Sinead O'Connor.
Whore!
I am not here. I am with my poor children. O Tommen, Marcella, I will be with you soon. I am a lioness. I will not cringe for them.
Queen Con!
I have sinned and must atone, must parade my shame before the eyes of every beggar in the city. They think it will break my pride, but they are wrong.
Brotherfucker!
Abomination!
I am blind and deaf, and they are all worms.
King Stannis! King Stannis!
I am a lion of the rock.
The king in the north! The king in the north!
Words are wind.
Whore!
Motherfucker!
Abomination!
Queen of words are wind. Queen of God.
Motherfucker!
Abomination!
Whore!
Words are wind. Words are wind. And who are you? The proud Lord said that I must bow so low. Only a cat of a different coat. The lion still has claws.
But if a woman does not cover her head, she might as well have all her hair cut off.
But if it is a disgrace to have her hair cut off or her head shaved, then she should cover her head.
Instead of a fragrance,
There will be a stench,
instead of a sash,
a robe,
instead of well-dressed hair,
baldness,
instead of fine clothing,
sackcloth,
and instead of beauty.
branding.
I woke up, rolled in the mud. My head was in a swell. The sun stabbing into my eyes.
I waited until he left the house.
Beside me was another drunkard who was muttering in his sleep. Spread eagle, face flat on the ground. I laughed. And he waved his arms to me going, yeah, yeah, to tell me to stop. So I laughed even louder. Then he tried to get up and rolled left and right like a slug.
When he left, and when I was sure that he would return, I crept into my father's room and got a sword.
Eventually he stopped and sat down, then wept, and he said he had been dreaming of his lover.
I wrapped the sword in my mother's silk,
They ran.
and I ran.
And when I got home, I fell to my father's altar, and my grandfather's altar, and my grandfather's father's altar.
I came across Wade, the local trader, by the edge of town. I made a show of looking at his jewels. I bought a trinket, not expensive, not cheap. We started talking about Chengdu, and I asked him when he was moving to the north. And I remember I laughed because he laughed because he thought he'd said something clever.
Oh, Father, forgive me!
And then I asked him if he could bring us to the north.
At Kumbi's shrine stands a cypress.
I dropped down to my knees and I begged him to take us to the north.
With branches of bronze and roots like granite.
He just turned red and snarled and kept saying again and again that it was impossible.
When I was done weeping, I went to the kitchen for a knife.
That's when I unraveled the sword and let the sunlight shine on the blade.
Red and rusted. Still, it was sharper than all tradition.
I took the sword, he looked at it, and he simply grinned.
I pulled back my cue, a single cut, and it was done.
And I ran quickly to tell him. Tell him that we could leave and live and love.
When the piece finally fell to the ground, I felt nothing. I had not expected nothing.
And as I ran, the breeze blew from the north and carried me to his home.
The breeze tickled my name, and I knew it was done.
And I knew it was done.
You are my sweetest downfall. I love you first. I love you first. Beneath the sheets of paper lies my truth. I have to go. I have to go. Your hair was long when we first met. Sam came to my bed, told me that my hair was red. He told me I was beautiful and came into my bed. Cut his hair myself one night, a pair of those scissors in the yellow light. He told me that I had done alright. Kiss me till the morning light, the morning light. Kiss me till the morning light.
Before I started, I asked her if she wanted me to cut her hair cut short first, before shaving it. But she said no, to just shave her head.
At 7 years 23, you will go depressing until you watch the scene in Les Mis when they cut off Anne Hathaway's beautiful, beautiful hair.
I realized for the first time how difficult it can be to lose your hair as a byproduct of saving your own life.
At work, Corella, Beyonce cut her hair off, so I cut my hair off.
When we were done, she headed to the shower to wash away all the small pieces of hair that was clinging to her. Meeting back in her room, I said gently, "Well, you're not crying."
Watson. For 9 years, I was contractually obligated to not cut my hair, not to that. All the normal things girls do, by Emma Watson.
No, she said, but that may come later.
Calm. Painless except emotionally. Made it unbearable. Called up a friend, knew some gay dishes from a shop along our street. Yes, I must see a derma, she said. And it needs regular hot oil treatment. Massage. I must prepare for it because it goes with age. Now, I haven't been to a dermatologist yet. And I can't stop worrying. I feel up my scalp from time to time. Keep wondering, who noticed? Especially when you have people staring at your back as in elevators. They keep looking behind me. Keep wondering how long they've been there. Keep wondering how long these bald spots have been in my memory.
I just want you to love me for who I am.
I am not your expectations.
I just want to be myself.
At the turn of the century, it's time for us to redefine who we be.
I don't want to change, and I want you to know
I am not my hair.
I
am
just
not
want to
the
be
skin.
myself.
I am
just
not
want
your
you to love me for
expectations.
who I am. I
I
just
am
want
not
to be
my
myself.
hair. I
And
am
I
not
want you
the
to know
skin.
I am my hair.
I am the soul that lives within.